Go ahead and say it over here.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hi, Kathy. I'm Mary. 3 o'clock?
Mary said 3 to 4. Did some paint yesterday, Billy?
Yeah. Paint.
Come in close on this operation here. And I don't think I need to. Well, gosh darn it. When you're liking a corkscrew, if you got a Bosch.
You got a Bosch, you got a party.
Yeah. I recommend at least a 2-inch screw. Well, Mary Ann?
Mostly messages that no one would want to show.
Yeah.
Well, and I can remember that.
Okay, it's Paul.
I'm developing my pictures. I'm developing my girl. Mr. Sheehan.
Yeah.
Seeing if everybody wants some wine.
Get it.
The seasons come, the seasons go. We get a little sunshine, rain, and snow. Just the way that it was planned to be. Dreams of glad tomorrow.
Yeah.
Up in the distance.
Oh, he's history, yeah.
And I.
It ain't got no juice.
I personally never witnessed it.
Whoa, man, you did it!
Someone get the lights?
Well, we don't need the lights because the lamp doesn't seem to. Around, and I'd like everybody to put their hands on it and their eyes on it. And I want everybody to take a look at the safe light too. Here you go, Bill. Safe lights. It is the tray of my facility. Right? I thought that I might have a pulpit here and I might deliver a sermon and all that, but I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I just got a little slideshow and I brought slides for everybody, so don't worry. And I thought we might just take a look at them and take a look at our experience here. Having some technical help when you guys cheers, man.
Let's go.
Huh? This is kind of Rayko-esque, you know? Absolutely appropriate. It should be like this. Is it
This isn't in the right spot.
Yeah, you can actually just drop them in there manually and
Okay.
press a button that spits them out.
It's a carousel, for Christ's sake. Facility. Well, we'll just wait back. These are my slides you've heard so much about. Here's another slide, and then what do you do, Randy?
Just pressing on the buttons.
Oh, okay. That's so cool.
It's actually more enjoyable that way, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be good if I was. And this is turns the cookies. They gave me too many. And you helped me out if you had one. And that's the first time I met Zig. And we went on to become very good friends. And I was just thinking about that reminiscence particularly because it's kind of interesting that Zig lived at 9th in Cabrillo for years and years. Oh, I brought one of your slides. So, you want to tell us what we're looking at here? Yeah. And was interested or in.
Who's that?
Well, that's the first day she worked here for a long time. And yet it didn't really exist. It was just this corridor in the back. And it was like a lot of this place, it was kind of legendary in my own mind, but other people didn't know about it and didn't even know what it was. And Mary started working here, and that's one of the first things I asked her to do, and she, you know, it's a simple sign, but it's utterly competent and informative, and what it did was it made my gallery a place. It located it. And I also, it's kind of a dictum of mine that a thing isn't seen until it's named. And so I'm really partial to that sign there. And yeah, that's one of my memories of it. So I'll take Mary's slide here. Mary. Wow. What's up with that?
I'm not sure. Some of those happy accidents, you know.
Okay. Happy accidents. Yeah. I think of, can anyone else think of happy accidents around Rayko? I know a lot of them must have occurred. Anything that springs to mind?
I picked up these boards the other week.
Uh-huh.
Paint on them, but one of them just had this really nice stain on the back, so I just hung it up. Stain. Took a while.
It's pretty nice.
Quite a story with those boards. They came from this lab down the street at 8th Avenue. Professional Photographic Services. And there was this guy, he was a mural maker in San Francisco. When he wanted to find mural making, he went there. He was there for like 4 years or so. And I got that damn masonite, and we saw all that masonite, and we said, wow, man, look at it. And the surface was so flawless, and it was all ready to hang. It looked so legitimate, and it looked so so much money if you actually needed that shit. You know, you'd be in trouble. And there we had like 2 pickup trucks full of it. And I moved that stuff so many times. It came in here and like it was real special, you know, we'd find a special place for it, and then we kind of realized, well, it's not that special. You know, we put it up on the mezzanine, and then something would have to go to that place, so I'd have to go up there, which is about 5.5 feet high, and stoop around and move the masonite. And what really turned me against Masonite was when I had to ship a couple of artworks that I mounted on. And the artworks that I mounted on Gator board cost like $6 to ship, and the Masonite ones cost like 40. And so I am so glad you took that stuff.
That was filling my room.
I'm so glad you took that stuff.
Standing at the table.
Good. It makes a big table. Yeah. Michael, do you have any slides you want to show? Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, wait, let me show you this. Wait a minute. While you gather those up, here's a favorite picture. Somebody had to do that. And it's, Kathy got jobs for Bill and Mary here at this place. So I'm very thankful for that, Kathy. I feel really fortunate. Well, okay, Michael, have you got your slide yet? It's a vertical, isn't it? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's
Okay.
It's right here. It's the fabulous RA4 chemical mixing pump device of Chris's design that really made a pretty unpleasant task a real joy to use, just because the simplicity and the elegance of its design, like so many other bizarre Rayko inventions around here. And
Yeah, it recirculated, didn't it?
it was like, I remember the first time I used it, I sort of marveled at it, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just sitting around. I imagine you sitting around trying to think up a way to do that without constantly spilling a gallon or two of developer oil on the floor.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. So I got this picture here. Prior to the invention of the RA4 chemical mixer. And that's just a few minutes after I set the 10 gallons of Blitz on the chemical cart and it fell.
Oh.
And my friend Zig was working in room E6. I didn't even knock on the door. I just opened that door up. He's exposed with paper. I don't care. I said, Zig, I need it right now. And I said, go get me some. I didn't even think I had to tell him. But he just started manning that mop. And I spilled this hazardous shit all over the floor and it's leaking. And we got neighbors downstairs. And I was just, oh my goodness. But actually, we had that spill controlled in about 10 minutes. And no more than a pint of that Blitz juice dripped down the wall. But at that point, I just realized, you know, this is darn silly. And that's where that little chemical mixer was born, right there. Look at them pies. Randy went to France, and he went back, I don't know where he went, but he come back with about 16 esoteric kinds of honey all over provincial France. And he's back for a little while, and he comes in one night with these sweet potato pies for his workshop that he's going to feed his customers and his workmates. And things that really made people fond of Rayko, that we offered that service. And we really made these professional darkrooms not only affordable, but it was just people got treated really well here, you know. And that sweet potato pie was something else.
And here's the pie.
Well, I got more slides. You want? Don't. I haven't had coffee yet. I'm kind of muttering, because our coffee making operation was for a long time. It was bullshit, is what it was. You know, this place it has like 17 sinks, right? It's got 49 water faucets all over the place. What do? We place the coffee making operation the farthest from any water spigot it can possibly be. And it was about at least 50 steps away from water. So every time we wanted to make a cup of coffee, we get the pot, and then we walk into the bathroom, and we go that, and we fill it up, and we didn't even have an air dispenser. And so it would just sit in there, and it would bake on the warmer all the time. Bill and I got to talking about it, and just one day, in a couple hours, we solved that thing. And Rayko coffee got to be as standard as Rayko chemistry, I think. People could rely on it. It was worth 75 cents a lot of the time, a lot more often. What we did was, we put the coffee making operation right next to a sink, in the back. You just take that hose, you fill it up, and it really made a difference. People used to complain about our coffee, and they feel ripped off. And not only that, you know, as pushers of darkroom photography, we really want to pump these folks up. We really want to get them jazzed up, because they're already kind of jazzed. And so that was a delight to work with Bill on that one and just solve a problem big time.
I think the coffee also benefited from the proximity to the mop bucket water, which was used in the same sink there. So I think that those, there was a lot of spillage and crossover. Synergy, I guess we should call that.
The thing is people knew that, but they trusted us, Bill.
Yeah, you've got a sink full of RA4 chemistry splashes, just fix-soaked rags.
But I
You know.
gotta differ with you there. I think we kept that sink pretty clean, and I remember.
No, that's why the
one
coffee
days
was so good.
When we pulled the racks, we just kind of were very scrupulous in creating a boundary between the ingestibles and the blicks and all that. But that was. I don't know. He pretty much made the place. He furnished it. Not only materially, but I learned so much as a visual artist watching the way somebody like Jack operates. And I think of so many of us photographers, you know, we can find a grain structure in a negative or something, but to hang out with Jack was to hang out with someone who had a I don't know if it's more developed or he's just more aware of it, how much being visually acute can help you navigate in the world in a pretty good way. So many times when there was something that didn't work right, we would turn to Jack because he could fix anything. And the first thing Jack would do would be just to look at it. And so many times when something is broken, we get a report from somebody and they don't know the machine and they've told us about it, so we're looking at what they told us or something. First thing Jack would do is look at something. And so many times when I came to him with a problem, I'd bring it to him and we would just look at it and then he would point at something that, I don't know if it was obvious, but it taught me a lot. And I just think of the way this place was furnished. I hope we haven't taken it for granted, but it was pretty remarkable, I think. These benches that he made, and they were so usable and fine and unobtrusive and economically made, and they're so integral to the space. If you think about all these metal benches, the plastic work, and this and that. Jack is just all over this place. And so I would be remiss not to show a picture of old Jack. And while we're at it, might as well get a picture of Stu here. Here he is. That's Stuart with his favorite negative carrier. And I think about the genesis of Rayko back on Polk Street. And I think about this service that I went to in 1994, I believe. And it was for the first Rayko employee there, Rob Holt. Pretty tragic. Rob cancer and died at the age of less than 24, I think. And he was just talking about the place that him and Rob had made there on Polk Street. And what a satisfying thing it was to have this establishment that people could walk into off the street and all the stuff that's going on out there and in their own lives. And they'd have this little sanctuary where they could, they could enlarge the pictures of their life. And they'd have these handmade photographs. And for Stuart, I think the most meaningful context for photography is not in a book or in an exhibition or a magazine or whatever. It's when folks are hanging out in a room and they're passing these pieces of paper among each other. And I think for him, I don't know how his fetish with negative carriers works into that, but it's pretty central. You can take that moment of your life and put it in this template and isolate it from everything. And that's full frame there, So yeah, there's Stuart. I'm glad that I mentioned Rob, It's good to say the names of folks that aren't here anymore. The rest of that, I do have bills. I'm really hungry too. What? Burritos?
What do you have?
They're nice, rounded gray river or beach stones. And you throw them and they just disappear into the driveway.
Oh, she demonstrated. No, they ricochet better.
Yeah, they don't bounce so well.
I've always wanted that one to say doctor.
Yeah, wow, that's good.
Okay, let it rip.
Can we do this search and destroy music?
I gotta get some of this.
All right. Property is theft.
Okay.
Never heard of that.
Michael, anything wrong? What's up, Michael? Is something?